I'm your host, Dorothy Mashburn, and welcome to Salary Negotiations Made Simple. Here I show you how negotiating does not have to be overwhelming. I break the entire process of negotiating into easy-to-learn steps that you can use in any salary negotiation situation. Whether you're starting a new job or preparing to ask for a raise, expect to receive practical, actionable strategies that are based on real-life experiences. I'll be sharing tips that have been proven to work, where professionals like you have netted anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000 more in compensation. It's payment for the skills you already bring, so you need to know how to ask for payment for that value. Are you ready to learn how to boost your earnings? Let's dive in. We're talking today with Annie Margarita Yang. She is the definitive voice in millennial finance, specializing in strategies for beating today's tough economic challenges. She's the author of an award-winning best-selling new book, The 5-Day Job Search, which helps young professionals get out of student loan debt while finding the ideal job. With more than 1 million views on YouTube, her witty approach to tough talk sets her apart from others. Annie's candid style cuts through the noise, delivering foolproof advice for real-world challenges. Far from generic tips, her tips focus on practical steps to quickly improve finances, especially for challenges unique to millennials. Based in Boston with her husband, Annie complements her professional life with a love for piano, adding another layer to her multifaceted persona. Want a boost of motivation, inspiration, and energy? Then this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Hi, Annie. How are you today?
Hi, Dorothy. I'm great. How are you?
Good. What time is it where you are?
Right now, it is 10:08 a.m. in
East Coast
Boston,
time.
Massachusetts. Yep.
I'm in Phoenix. It's 7 a.m. So look at this wonderful technology. It's connecting us.
Yeah. It's amazing because thanks to Zoom and all these conferencing software, I'm meeting people from Australia, from India. Yesterday, someone from Bulgaria, and now you from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. So tell us, Annie, let's get started with your a little bit about you. Who are you, and what do you do?
Well, I'm the best-selling author of this new book called The 5-Day Job Search. I wrote this book to help people to be able to land a new job very quickly in today's economy, because with the way things are going, I believe very likely we're heading into a recession, maybe even the next Great Depression. And a lot of people are going to be unemployed. So I wrote this book to be able to help people land a new job quickly so that they can continue to pay their bills. Maybe even if they have student loan debt, because repayments have just begun October 1st, be able to make those $300 to $500 monthly payments.
Wow, what a timely availability for a resource for people.
Yeah, this is like, I believe a lot of people are struggling right now. And I read stories of people, like just the other day, I was reading a story about somebody who was getting robbed at home. Like somebody wanted to kick his door down and shoot. And this video went viral, right? And the guy's saying like, oh my gosh, if someone could help me, I can't pay my bills. We're living paycheck to paycheck. It's really painful right now for us. And I'm really trying to help these kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a long time in my own career, I was working like minimum wage jobs, like just a whole string of minimum wage jobs. And I didn't understand like how to progress in my career and make more money. And there are certain secrets and strategies that people can follow. They just need to learn how. Because we're told that if we just get the college degree, after we finish, things will just pan out for us. But as we've seen, half of people leaving college, they end up either unemployed or underemployed. They're working jobs that don't require a degree. They're better off having like just gone straight out of college, working on any other job that doesn't require the degree. So I think this is a really important book that people need to read.
Absolutely. How have your own experiences shaped you writing this book? And what is in the book? Tell us a little bit about it.
So basically, half of this book is my personal memoir of how I got to where I am today. And the other half is what I learned along the way and actionable tips that people can follow. The first half is all about mindset and character development. And in this first half, which I think is really important because people have resonated with it a lot, they have seen. The thing is, when you go online these days and you look for financial advice, it's from people who like went to college and then straight after college, you got like a good paying job and then it's all been uphill from there. It's not relatable. I've been through the struggle. I have personally worked a whole string of the minimum wage jobs, worked at Domino's Pizza after graduating with a degree in communications. And I wondered, like, what was that for? Why did I get a degree in communications only to end up working in Domino's Pizza? So I understand what it's like. And there are certain tips, certain mindset shifts that you can use to progress ahead in your career, which I would love to share on your show today.
Yeah, would love that. Let me ask you, many of the job seekers who are looking for alternatives to current jobs, they say the hardest thing is to get noticed because there's so many applicants out there. So is that something you can give advice on?
Yes. The first thing is you need to revamp your resume. Prior to writing this book, I assumed that other people knew how to write the resume. Turns out they don't. I've looked at resumes and a lot of them are really generic. It looks like it could have been written by anybody. And even when I was helping people for the last 3 months in writing their resumes, I asked them to give me their original draft so that I at least had something to work with. Honestly, they didn't stand out. So I have a secret for a lot of you guys today. It's cheap. You don't need to hire a resume writer, honestly, because the people that I've been helping for the last 3 months, I have been using ChatGPT to write the resume. And we were able to tailor their resume to be more of like this ideal candidate for what the employer is looking for. What we did was we looked at the desired title that the person wanted. So let's say, for example, they're looking to become a hotel manager, right? So we search into Google, hotel manager job listing, and then a whole bunch show up, right? We just open 20 in a brand new tab, and then we just copy and paste the whole listing into ChatGPT one by one with the prompt like, this is a listing for a hotel manager. Please analyze for me what this employer is looking for in an ideal candidate, and how should my resume be written to portray that I am the ideal candidate for this job, and outcomes and analysis from ChatGPT, right? And then after that, you copy and paste that analysis into a Word doc. We'll save that for later. And we just do the same prompt again and again for the next 19 job listings until we have 20. Copy and paste those into the Word doc, and then it's time to analyze. Yeah.
So you ask ChatGPT to analyze and then come up with a summary.
Yes, basically come up with a summary. But then now we have 20 summaries. Each summary ends up that it gives each time we do this ends up being like 2 pages. So we're looking at like 40 pages of summaries. What I have my client do, which is because it's a lot of work for me, but it's also good exercise for the client, is to sort through those 22-page summaries and find what are the underlying themes. Like, do they keep asking for the same technical skills? Do they keep asking for the same soft skills? Do they over and over again say, we're looking for flexibility in our ideal candidate? We want our ideal candidate to work weekends because that's when it's really busy for us, you know? Like, these employers in the same industry always explicitly state what they're looking for in their ideal candidate. What people think is like, they're looking at this job listing, they're reading it word for word. And I find a lot of women do this. Read it word for word and they go, I don't qualify for this position. I meet only half of the requirements. But they don't realize like every candidate meets only half the requirements, right?
Yeah.
So this exercise, analyzing those 22-page summaries, I have found that especially for women, it's helped them because now they're looking at like this broader picture. What is this like general theme, general wish list that employers want rather than like one specific employer wants? It's just like across the board, what do they want? And then they realize, oh, they all want like pretty much the same thing. There's this like ideal character that we're building it, that we're meshing here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like that it's not just copy and paste. So there is a lot of human element to it as well. So tell us, where does the AI stop and where does the human get into developing the next step from there?
So from there, we're not like making a resume out of thin air or from nowhere. This is more about targeting your resume to speak to the employer. So what we do from there is they work with me. I ask them the right questions based on this analysis. I'm like, well, how many years of experience did you have? Because these employers are asking for years of experience, right? How many years of experience? That needs to be on the resume. Do you know this specific software? Have you ever used this specific software at any of your previous jobs? Right? That needs to be in your resume. So like one by one, you just like need to, even if you're not working with me or anyone, like just look at this analysis and go like, I've used this software. I haven't used it that much, but like I'm a little familiar with it. That needs to be in your resume,
Yeah.
Because basically these are all the key words that employers are looking for. Like you need to communicate properly to the person that's doing the hiring that like I do know these skills. Like people can't read your mind unless it's like actually written down on your resume and in your LinkedIn profile. People don't know. They don't know what you do. It's just like right now I'm taking music theory lessons. Right? I'm practicing to become like a pianist, and my piano teacher recommended me my music theory teacher, which I'm taking lessons from right now. But I wanted to record the audiobook for the 5-day job search. So I went back to my piano teacher and asked her, do you know somebody who can help me set up this microphone? I have no idea how this microphone works. Like, how does audio recording work? How does post-production work? And she's like, yeah, your music theory teacher. I was like, huh? He does this stuff? Yeah, he's a composer. He does audio, like all this stuff. I was like, what? I don't know what he does. And then I went on his LinkedIn. That wasn't on there. I didn't know he knew how to do this stuff. So unless like you explicitly like state this on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, people don't know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
So I went to him and I asked him, please help me. I want to learn how to set up this microphone and edit audio and record my audiobook. And he was able to help me. But like, imagine my piano teacher didn't say his name, right? That opportunity would have gone to someone else simply because I didn't know what he was capable of.
Yeah. We assume a lot that everything we think or we know is already out there, but it isn't. So we've got to be intentional about putting it out there.
Yeah. And a lot of people I meet, they tell me, oh, I don't want to put it on LinkedIn. I'm scared. I'm scared people are going to find out about me. Well, that's to the detriment of your career.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the opportunities if people don't know about you, right? There's a difference. What you're posting online about your skill set, your experience, anything about work, that's not your personal life. It's not the same. So you need to keep that separate. Like me online, yes, I'm online, but you don't see me posting anything about my online, like my private relationships, my friendships, my marriage. You don't see any of that. Even when I got married, I didn't post any wedding photos. Like, so I'm very well known online, but it's only like the things that I post, and the things that I post about are about work.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's your intentional brand, right? What brand do you want out there? And that's it. Like that's what
it's what you want to be known for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said. In your experience, I think you already touched on that. What obstacles do women in particular face in getting to the next job or next promotion or next salary increase?
I think this applies to men as well, but women in particular, I think the first thing is the fact that they're looking at this list of requirements and they already self-selected themselves out and said, I don't qualify. Like, I'm not going to be able to get this because I don't meet all of the requirements for a promotion, for this specific job. Like, men, especially like the same music theory teacher, right? He came to me for career advice. He said he had a potential client. They were asking for the price. And he said, I don't actually fully know how to do this job, but they're asking me if I can do it. And I said, just give it a shot. And then he came back to me and he was like, Yeah, I just told them I can do it, but I actually don't know how to do it. I'm just gonna spend the next month learning how to do it. So then I
Yeah.
will know how to do it. Like that was his mindset. Like, I don't know how to do it, but I'll say I know how to do it, and I'm just gonna like learn as I go, and then I'll just deliver them the best I can, right? Whereas like I find like the female mindset is more like maybe not, not unless I do it like I'm able to do like 100% perfect to my own high standard. I'm not gonna give this a shot. So
Yeah.
like the first thing is you need to put in your shot, right? The second thing is I think we're too scared to be more assertive and to ask for the things that we want. The problem is if you don't ask, you don't get. I think that is the hardest thing to learn. Like me personally, when I wrote the first book, 1001 Ways to Save Money, and then I'm looking at my reviews on Amazon. It's a great book. I've sold so many copies. I have lots of reviews on that book. But then I look at other authors. I'm reading their bios because like let's say my mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
They kept sending me like marketing emails and they're like, oh, go to this event. And then they show the bio of some of the people who are speaking at the event. And
Yeah.
it says, so and so is an award winning best-selling author. And then I'm like, is this person really like an award winning best-selling author? So then I go on Amazon to look for the book. They have like 10 reviews. I'm like, how are you like an award-winning best-selling author? I have sold more books than you. How come I never got an award, right?
Yeah.
Why did no one ever recognize me with an award? And I couldn't figure it out. Only this year, after all this time, I figured it out. To become an award-winning author, you need to apply for an award.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that simple. Like
Yeah.
my mind. This sounds so simple, but like I'm very serious. My mind was blown. Like, oh, to get an award and call yourself an award-winning author, you gotta pay $100 and apply for the award. So then I was like, okay, so now I know that's what it takes. You have to actually apply. So I applied for 30 awards. And the deadlines, like for all of them, are different, and their announcement dates are different as well. Many of them are past November, but one already came back and said, I won the 2023 New York City Big Book Award. I was like,
There you go.
oh,
You're an award-winning author now.
yeah, there you go. Now I can call myself an award-winning author, just like those other speakers.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's I know you're saying a little bit of this in kind of light humor, but it is so true. Like it doesn't even come to us to think of it that way because you're waiting to be picked for everything.
Here I was like just waiting. I was like, when's someone gonna recognize that I wrote a great book?
Yeah.
I didn't realize like to get an award you have to just pay $75 to $150.
Yeah.
And then like submit your information and give them a copy of your book. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is good. What else? We can like keep going here to get some more intel from you. What else did you learn throughout your book process about yourself?
You gotta go big. In this book, I talk about how you need to apply for 50 jobs a day. People think that's a lot. That's not a lot. When I ask people how many jobs, you go on Reddit, you read about people complaining about their job search and how like they've put in so many applications and they never get any callbacks. Some of those commenters, they ask, well, how many did you apply to in a day? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna land a job quickly if you only applied 5. That's why the average job search takes 6 months.
Yeah.
The average person, when they're looking for a job, it takes them 6 months rather than 5 days. Because let's say if you do 50 a day for 7 days, that's like 350 jobs that you've applied to, right? But if you're spreading that out over 6 months, then yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It is really a numbers game.
Yeah.
People who have followed my advice, for example, my friend, she's been unemployed since May. She was trying to start her own venture as well, though, but finally she threw in the towel. She's like, I'm going to just follow Annie's advice.
Yeah.
And then she applied, and then she ended up like getting 5 job interviews all lined up for the same day. Same day lineup, right? And then the next day, she got an offer for $120,000.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And the best thing about like doing this quickly and applying to so many in such a short period of time is you get to line up those interviews in such a short window so that you can get multiple offers rather than feeling like, oh, this is my only offer, I need to take it. Because the worst feeling is when you've already interviewed with, like, let's say 3 places, you got an offer on one, and they're saying, well, the expiration on this offer is a week from now. And then you accept the offer because the expiration is coming. And then this other place that you interviewed much later also gave you an offer. You're like, oh my gosh, that offer was better, but I already accepted this one. Like, that's the worst thing, right? So you want to like shorten that window basically so that you get multiple offers and you feel like you're more in control of your job search.
Yeah, what a great strategy, because we there's all different ways to get to the same end goal, but this is very interesting the way you talk about it, because it's almost like a sprint. In 5 days you get put as much as possible into those 5 days.
Yeah, so that way you don't feel like you're missing out, because if you spread those, like let's say you got different offers, but they're all spread out a month apart, I mean, then you might really feel like you're missing out, because if you turn down one, then you get a next one, and it actually turns out to be worse than the one you turned down earlier. You're like, oh man, I really missed out, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I apply this, like, I really apply this go big or go home mindset in practically everything. So me personally, as I'm promoting this book and I'm going on different podcasts, I actually have 50 podcast appointments lined up, right? Which is a lot, but I actually plan to do 500. And to get to 500, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta maybe contact 5,000 podcast hosts, because 10% of 5,000 is 500. And so I'm already like maybe 10% there because I've already scheduled 50 of the 500. But I started my outreach about 20 days ago, and a few days later, I got contacted by some PR people, publicists, and they were like trying to sell me their service. And I was like, well, can you help me get on 500 shows? And they were like, well, that's a big lofty goal, Annie. And I was like, well, how many can you help me get on? And they said, we'll be very honest, we can help our clients ideally get on between 8 to 12 podcasts over the course of 6 months. And then I said, how can you help me? I mean, I'm already booked on 19 and I only started reaching out like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Like in 10 days, I've already booked 19 versus like they can help someone get on 8 to 12 over 6 months. I was like,
6 months.
Yeah. And they asked me what I'm doing different. I was like, I don't think I'm doing anything different from what you're doing,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only difference is the numbers. We contact a lot of people in a given day and we focus on who says yes.
And your mindset, right? Go big or go home. That mindset is huge, because the way you reached out, we connected. We're like, as soon as we connected, you tailored your message to me, to my audience, and then we're like, okay, let's get you on as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And you didn't know I was using ChatGPT.
Oh no, she tricked me with AI.
Yeah, and then when I was speaking to those publicists, they also asked me what I was doing. Like, was I tailoring the message? Because they also tailor the message. And then I said, yeah, like I tailor the message, but I'm using ChatGPT. They're like, what? Yeah. Like, even they were blown away. Like, they never thought to use ChatGPT in this way, like to tailor messages for pitches.
Yeah. It's so new, right? It's so new. People are still trying to find it. Although, like you said, you can't copy paste. You've got to put a human element to it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So what is your secret sauce on top of what you've already shared to unblock that mindset? So the mindset of, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, I'm going to be a martyr, or, I need all 100 of the 100 qualifications that are being asked on a job.
I catch myself real quick. When I spiral into that like depressing mindset, I catch myself really quick, and I say, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Like, I just replace that. If I say I'm not good enough, I can do it. I'm capable. Like, I keep repeating it over and over and over again. The moment I think, like, right now my focus is like on getting better at piano. Like, the moment I think, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, I'll never play like Lang Lang or Yu Jia Wang, whoever, right? Like, they're years ahead of me. I can do it. So I basically have to train my mind. One of the secrets that are in the book is when I was first getting into reframing my mind and changing my limiting beliefs, is I would like think of all the things that were limiting me. For example, I don't have a lot of friends back then, right? And I didn't think I was really outgoing. So I did the opposite. I wrote down, I am confident, charismatic, and influential around everyone I meet. That was the first affirmation I ever wrote. And then I wrote that on a piece of paper every single day. This actually came from the advice of Brian Nieves. I think he was, I don't remember which state. I think he was Missouri state senator at some point. And he said, if you just write down on a piece of paper every single day, at the top, write down like day 1, then next day, day 2, to keep yourself accountable and not miss a single day. If you do this for months, right, then at some point it just becomes automatic. And it did. His advice actually worked. Like after a few months, I realized that these thoughts were replaying in my head on loop without me consciously being aware of them. Like I would just go to buy groceries. I'm confident, charismatic, and influential on everyone I meet. I'm eating dinner, and then all of a sudden this thought pops up. I'm confident, charismatic, and influential around everyone I meet. Yeah.
Oh.
I have a whole list, but that was the first one that I wrote down, and I think I've embodied that one by now.
Yeah, I can tell. You can tell. Yeah, it's interesting because there is some neuroscience to that too, because our brains can't tell the difference between what is true about what you wrote down and what is real. And so you start, like you said, embodying that particular affirmation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if you call yourself a loser, even if you're not, like I have friends who think they're losers, and I can say to them over and over, no, you're not a loser. Like, you're amazing. Why can't you see? You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're capable. You're going to do great things in life. Like, I have friends like that. I say to them over and over again, you're doing great. Relax, right? Yeah. But in their head, they just keep replaying this, I am a loser. I am a loser. I'm a loser. I can't change their mind for them, right? And the thing is, whether something is true or not, like I'm a loser is an opinion. Mm-hmm. Just as much as I am amazing is an opinion. All of this is an opinion, but what you choose to believe in. If you believe in it over and over and over again, it eventually becomes true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to be careful about what thoughts we let into our brains.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Be very careful.
Yeah. Personal branding, you touched on it a little bit. Tell us about how it's helpful in engineering the next job or the next promotion or next salary increase.
I would say personal branding, if you just follow this one tip from my book, which is to get a professional headshot, that is just one personal branding tip. People will start to see you for what you want to be rather than who you are now. So, for example, when I first started getting my headshot done, like way back then, I said, I want to be a future CFO. Make me look like I'm a future CFO in the making, right? Not the kind of entry-level accounting position I have now, but I want to build that perception. Perception is everything. It's not actually like what it really is. Like I've met people who are more capable than me, but they haven't been able to build that perception as well, right? And I did manage to end up getting a part-time CFO position offer back in February, which I turned down. But that just came to me. Like I didn't apply for that. Someone just handed that to me, right? And then now I'm building the perception like, oh, I want to build the perception I'm a best-selling, award-winning author. I want to look like I'm some sort of like famous celebrity that sold 100 million copies of this book and I'm on TV, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, like all these like big shows. I want to look that part. So when I went to get my new headshot taken, I went to the hair salon. I said, hey, today it's not just a normal haircut. You got to make my hair look like I'm a famous celebrity, like walking to New York City like this, Yeah. And then the makeup artist I used was like the same makeup artist that Steve Jobs used for his iconic photo with his black turtleneck. Yeah. And then this makeup artist has also done makeup for like the royal family of Morocco. Like that's the kind of makeup artist I use because if I want to look like a celebrity, you got to use a celebrity makeup artist and pay for that, right? And then the photographer as well was a celebrity photographer. So then when the picture actually came out and I showed my friends, I was like, do I look like a celebrity? They're like, yeah, And I think that helped. Like the picture helped a lot because now I'm going on these shows, I'm pitching myself. I look the part. People are like, yeah, we want you on our show. Like they're excited, right? Because I come across with that kind of energy in the photo itself as well. This secret, if you just follow this one secret for personal branding, it's going to elevate you and make you stand out in the job market.
What a great tip that can be actually executed right away. I know we spend a lot of time debating the pennies, like, oh no, that's going to be $5,000 or $2,000. But really that 5,000 could lead to your next 100,000 or your next million. And it's like, think about it in terms of an investment, and it's not expense that, you would ever hesitate from, because you're actually making money, making it 50 times back.
It's all branding. It's all an investment. It's well worth it. Personally, I have spent about $20,000 related to this book launch. And, while I'm telling you right now, my goal is to sell 100 million copies of this book, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Even if it doesn't pan out, even if I don't sell as many copies as I want to sell, I think my career is set. Because if I did want to get a job instead of work for myself, if I put that on my resume, best-selling, award-winning author, and I had my photo, right? I think I would get a job not even in 5 days. I would get a job the next day, because I would get callbacks like right away. My career is set. So while I've spent $20,000 on this launch, it's really like an investment for my career to get opportunities right away, even if it doesn't pay itself back in book sales.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we spend so much more on a Disney vacation or on a cruise.
Or college degree. People spend that much on a college degree, and it doesn't pan out.
Way more than that. Way more than that.
Yeah.
You got to be very intentional. That is such a good tip. Anything else we need to know about the 5-day job search book?
No, I think that is everything. I've unloaded all my secrets, even the ChatGPT secret. I haven't shared that with any other podcast host so far. So
Yay,
there
that's
you go.
Fantastic. Yeah.
You're the only one that knows.
Yes.
You're the only one that knows I did ChatGPT on you for the pitch.
I love it. I love it. Feel very privileged. I'm going to take a picture of us so we can remember that we were one of your audience as you go to your 100 million book sales that you're aiming for, which I know you'll get to, Annie.
Thank you so much, Dorothy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to this podcast. We wish you the very best for your 500 and more.
Yeah. And before we go, I just want to let you guys know, to get that 10% off discount on a signed paperback copy of the 5-day job search, you can go on AnnieYangFinancial.com. And upon checking out the book, you can use the coupon code SALARY, SALARY.
Fantastic. And we'll link it in the show notes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dorothy.
All right. Take care, Annie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do you feel as motivated as I do after listening to Annie? This high-achieving professional is definitely going places. I hope you got some real-life tidbits on how to conquer the job search process, land a job that is perfect for your passions and dreams, while also finding the mindset to ask for the salary that you deserve. If you're ready to rise up and get paid for your worth, be sure to get the free salary negotiation training at DorothyMashburn.com/fight for your worth. This is the ultimate step-by-step guide in order to help you secure a promotion or break the glass ceiling. Again, it's at DorothyMashburn.com/fight for your worth. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.